Live service gaming, or as I like to call it, the cancer of creativity. Why make the best game you possibly can when you could just release the late stages of a beta for $69.99 and slap a season pass on the side of it, throw in a digital store and call it a day? I don't know why I'm southern. I think we need to address the elephant in the room. That is live service games. In the month of February alone, we've gotten 3 live service games in a row, which is way too much. And I don't know why they keep making these things, because 90% of the time they flop. But for some reason, the studios are under the idea that people are still falling for the
prosperity, liberty, democracy.
Oh. But still, I think live service games are completely out of hand. It's just live service game after 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 live service game and live service game and live service game and live service game. How long is it going to take for these guys to realize that their cash cow lives on a fucking farm? Enough of the live service talk. I'm sure you're wondering, how does the game play? To be honest, it's not that bad, but that doesn't make it good though. There's still a plethora of issues, and I know I just used the word plethora. I really busted out the thesaurus for this one. For starters, you need to be online to play this game, which is automatically stupid. Secondly, you can't PvP, which kind of makes the whole always online thing completely pointless. And thirdly, there is no form of combat other than ship combat, which feels outdated when you compare it to a game that came out more than a decade ago. Like, the boats don't really feel like boats, they turn really fast and don't have any weight to them. And there's no melee combat like in Black Flag, or even a cutscene for when you're looting ships. And worst of all, the resource gathering still looks like a mobile game ad. Like, I'm just waiting for Ubisoft to come around the corner and tell me that's how Mafia works. But aside from that, I know it doesn't sound like it, but the gameplay is bearable. But you can get a lot of the same experience playing Black Flag, which is arguably better, except there's not as much customization. From like outfits to the different types of weapons you can equip. I can also see why people hate this game, because it's technically a sequel to Black Flag, even though the gameplay is much worse in my opinion. On top of the CEO or whatever saying that the game is quadruple A, as most likely a marketing tactic, since they know a lot of people are already uninterested or forgot about this game. And the reason I'm not going all in on this game and calling it out is because I don't really care about it. And let's be honest, neither did the developers, because they spent 11 years on this game and it looks like this. But I do think that if the game wasn't $70, I might play it once in a while. Like, Skull and Bones would have been a great free-to-play version of Black Flag and Sea of Thieves, but as a $70 game, I mean, this is just this is ass. And I don't think I need to say don't buy this game, because I'm sure a large majority of people were smart enough not to. Unless they got caught up in those sick Billie Eilish ads with the lady from Fast and Furious, who actually did a promo for this game, and it was very clear that she was not enjoying herself.
So Skull and Bones is all about raising your infamy level. Infamy is like your experience. Yeah. So as you do things in the world, everything from sinking ships, hunting sharks, completing contracts, all of that stuff is going to build your infamy. It's going to get your name out there. And the higher your infamy, the better ships you're going to be able to craft, the better weapons you're going to be able to craft, the more lucrative loot you're going to be able to find. All of that is the point of Skull and Bones, the gameplay loop of Skull and Bones. As we level up our infamy, the sea opens up to us, and we get these big ships. All right, now, Michelle, because you're here and you're a very special guest, we're going to do something a little special. We're going to jump ahead maybe a few dozen hours into Skull and Bones and advance all the way to Kingpin.
Yes, please.
Also, I forgot to talk about this game's story, because, well, there isn't one. But there is a couple of good cutscenes in the beginning, so that might be an element they add to in the future. But, you know, I'd say as of now, this game is bare bones. Get it? Alright. It really only has ship combat and cosmetics. That really is it. Like, I genuinely want to know though, what did these guys do every day for the past 11 years? Did they just walk into the office for appearance and then cash a check every 2 weeks? Because I'll tell you right now, they did not spend their time working on this. Like, for reference, Black Flag was developed in 2 years, which is 0.18181818 repeating times less than the time these bozos had to make this. And you know, with all the time they had to make this game, I am struggling to talk about it for longer than 2 minutes because there really is nothing to talk about. There is no drama, there is no story, there's hardly any gameplay, there is nothing. And I don't know how long Ubisoft is going to keep this up because everything they have made in the past decade has either been average at the very best or hot doo-doo. And if they really want to turn things around, they need to start making quality games again. And I know some of you are going to be like, again? Instead of trying to milk an oversaturated market, because in the long run, it's quality games that sell to the most people, make the most money from expansions, and are bought multiple times. So with that, I'm giving Skull and Bones a 3 out of 10 with a big ol' stamp of stinky doo-doo because it could be good if it was free. But for the price, the lazy developers, and the genius that said it was quadruple A, it's a stinky pinky 3, which is probably more than it deserves, but I hate Kill the Justice League so much and I gave that thing a 2, so.
Yes, as much as it makes me sick to play that game, it's the one they have forced on us.